Hey folks, thank you very much for tuning in. My name's YellowHat, and today we're continuing on with our gun guide series where we go over every weapon in depth in Pavlov VR. In today's episode, we're going over a weapon that honestly has become one of my new favorites to use, and that of course is the LMG. The LMG, which is based off the M249 SAW, is one of two LMGs in Pavlov VR, the other one being the PKM. The LMG has pretty much been in Pavlov since the game's inception and is one of the most powerful weapons you can use in Pavlov. That said, let's get into the LMG stats. The LMG deals a base damage of 20, meaning that it will take 5 shots to the chest to kill. Its armor damage is 60, meaning that it will strip armor in 2 hits. The LMG, like most assault rifles and higher caliber weapons in the game, has an armor penetration value of 100%. Meaning that it will always do 20 damage to the body, regardless of whether a player has armor or not. To a helmet, the LMG will do 100 damage, meaning that it will take a player's helmet off in 1 hit. And the helmet bleed, or helmet penetration, on the LMG is 75, meaning that 75% of the receiving player's current health will be taken away. Where the LMG really shines is its fire rate, as it shoots at 1,000 rounds per minute, which is one of the highest fire rates of any weapon in the game, tied with the MP5 and the Vector, and only bested by the P90. As a weapon with a consistent 5-hit kill profile, coupled with its incredibly high fire rate, it's no surprise that the LMG has one of the fastest times to kill in the entire game, and in fact, of all the modern weapons, it has the fastest time to kill against armored players, sitting just at 240 milliseconds. For reference, the M4, which is the main defender rifle, has a body shot time to kill of 300 milliseconds. The bullet velocity of the LMG is in line with the assault rifles of the game, sitting right at 2,312 feet per second. Now, while it sounds like the LMG is the best weapon to use in the game, it does have its drawbacks. Mainly, when you're aiming with the LMG, your strafe speed is significantly slower than if you had a rifle. This can make you a bit of a sitting duck if your positioning isn't good and you take fire. The LMG comes with a couple of additional quirks as well. While its magazine capacity sits at 120 rounds, to balance this, the weapon has a barrel overheat feature where if you shoot full auto for 95 rounds uninterrupted, the barrel will glow orange and make a sizzling noise, and you won't be able to fire until the barrel cools down just a few seconds later. With this in mind, it is best to do short, controlled bursts of the weapon if possible. The other quirk comes with when you crouch with the weapon, as you get a massive reduction in recoil, which is unique to the LMG class of weapons. So, with that said, let's have a look at the recoil patterns of the LMG. The recoil of this weapon for about the first 25 rounds kicks vertically up while having a bit of horizontal recoil as well. Then the recoil pretty much peaks out vertically and kicks horizontally to the right, while ever so slightly climbing up vertically. When crouching, the horizontal recoil is drastically reduced and the vertical recoil is slightly reduced compared to while standing. The reload process on the LMG is a bit more involved than most other weapons, and I've seen plenty of newcomers to VR struggle with the LMG's reload, so here's how to do it. First, trigger grip the top cover and pull it all the way forward. Grab and toss the magazine, grab a new one from your pouch, put it in, then drag the ammo belt across until the round sits in the chamber, then close the top cover and then rack the charge handle on the right. This process is the same regardless of whether you have ammo in the chamber or not. Before we get into the use cases with the LMG, I figured I should add a new section to these guides, as Pavlov has a cosmetic system and has had it since Shack released. In this section moving forward, I will showcase all the skins you can purchase for a weapon, as well as any secret skins that are obtainable through special means. The LMG currently has just one skin in the game, as you've probably seen me use in this video, and it's called Death Camo, and it can be purchased for 200 Jared coin, which is this game's currency. This is equivalent to $2 US. With the LMG's power does come a price, as it costs $3,000 to purchase in-game, and only gives a kill bonus of $100. This is a bit more of an investment compared to the M4 or the G3, and I mention those weapons specifically as the LMG can only be purchased on the Defender or NATO side in Search and Destroy. The LMG can only accept sights up to the ACOG scope. You cannot put a sniper scope on it, unfortunately. No suppressors, no grips, no lasers, no flashlights. That said, the iron sights of the LMG are actually really nice to use, as they provide a clear sight picture and are easy to put on target. So then that begs the question, when should one use the LMG? The LMG works best when it's used defensively to hold angles and common choke points. With its 120 round box magazine, you can easily lay down suppressive fire to deny an entry for a brief moment, or spray through smokes and try to deal massive damage. LMGs can be used offensively as well, although you're more likely to have to commit to a fight since your movement speed is going to be reduced while aiming, so it's best to have cover nearby if you do decide to go on the offensive. You'll have a harder time strafing, unlike if you were to use the M4 where you can easily strafe and potentially dodge bullets. Economically speaking, the LMG is a bit of an investment, but nothing more than purchasing an M4 with an angled grip. It really comes down to trading mobility for that extra damage output. So, with all of the LMG's quirks and features, is it a viable weapon to use in SMD? Absolutely. However, you do have to take its drawbacks into account. If you're taking a direct gunfight with someone else, you will be in a disadvantage when it comes to mobility, as your movement is directly impacted, so you may have less of a chance to get away from a gunfight than if you were to have an M4 or a G3, for example. With the LMG being on the defending side, it makes more sense to use, as the LMGs generally work better in a defensive scenario. The sheer damage output you get with the LMG can easily turn the tide of a round. LMGs work best to stop sight pushes, as you have quite a lot of ammo to work with, and you can easily spam different angles and smokes as well if the attackers throw them down to cover sight lines. Be careful though, with tracers being visible, it can be quite easy for someone to pinpoint your location even if you're behind a smoke. In all honesty, I'm a bit surprised that the LMG isn't used more often. However, with the M4 being so consistent all around, plus the fact that you are sitting duck with the LMG in some instances, plus the fact that the M4 is cheap, it makes sense why it isn't used as much. On top of this, with the LMG only giving $100 per kill, this may turn some people away from the weapon, as the M4 gives $300 per kill. Despite this, if you're a player that typically holds onto a sight and doesn't play a rotate heavy position where you're moving around from site to site, you should definitely consider the LMG. It can be a game changer in the right hands. If there were any stats that you didn't see covered that you'd like to see, please feel free to let me know down in those comments below. Also, let me know what weapon you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something useful from this video. If you did, and if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with when I upload. Be sure to also check out my social links in the description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take it easy.